Okay, if I haven't seen your partner thing from last week, I need to see that because that was in the 30% category. Friday's worksheet was supposed to spell out way to go. I'm going to steal Maddie's one last time. I need to see it when you're done with it. That's another grade. We're going to put it in the 10%. This grade's getting on the 10% because there were 2 worksheets on Friday. And then there's one last worksheet I'm passing out today. It looks like a flip-flop. You work these problems. It tells you, like, color, if you get this answer, color it orange. And then you color in your flip-flop. We'll hang them up when it gets closer to spring. Okay, let's go over the Bollinger answers, and then we'll discuss the 3 things we've been talking about lately. And Ashanti was just telling me a Bollinger answer when I interrupted him. Yes, dear?
I got D.
Did anyone else get D? Okay. A lot of people got D. Can someone tell me how they got D?
I had, wait.
Go ahead, Hannah.
Well, I started with A and I kind of just plugged in the values to see which ones matched at the end, like -2 equals -2.
Okay, so you plugged in like a -2 for A. And you got -6 minus 5, which is -11, and that didn't match the answer, so it was out. And you went down the list. I like that idea. Anyone else do it a different way? Anyone else do it a different way? There are easier ways. Or an alternate way. Someone else have a different idea? How else could we have solved this problem? You could have graphed it, and the solution would have been on the line. So if you graphed all these other points, they're not going to actually cross that line. It wouldn't be a solution. Okay, Miss Compton didn't know. Hannah did more work than I did. I knew the answer was D to begin with. Why did Miss Compton know the answer was D to begin with? I mean, I checked it to make sure, the way Hannah told me to. Minus 5, and I got -2. But why did I know it was D to begin with? You know, I might not teach you much because a lot of you are smart and you probably could have taught yourself math. That sounds silly, but it's true. The one thing I have taught you, though, is my process of elimination skills. Why did I pick D? Why did I?
C.
I knew it wasn't C. Why is it not C?
Because that doesn't equal, 0 doesn't equal -2.
I'm not even doing math, though. See, Ashanti's still trying to do math. I'm just doing logic skills. Why is it not C and not E?
Because it's not like that. Oh.
Tell me what's going on with A, B, and D.
Oh, they're similar.
They're all similar. How are they similar?
They have 1 and 2 ends.
They all have the 1s and 2s. They all have the 1s and 2s. And now Aaron's on to my next thing. So everyone had 1s and 2s. I noticed 2 of the answers had 1s in the X's, 2s in the Y's. So I decided it was either B or D. Aaron, why did I pick D and not B? It had a negative. Most of the other choices had a negative. I knew it was going to be the one with the negative. I only plugged in D. Hannah, and I can see, I think it was Aaron's paper, she went down the whole list and plugged in every single one. And I'm monotonous like that, and I normally would. But this is a standardized test question. We don't have long. Figure out which answer choice is best. Only plug in that one. If you're right, you're right. If not, pick the next best. Okay. The next one is difficult. It says, in order to find the keyboarding speeds, the formula below is used. In the formula, S represents the speed in words per minute, W the number of words typed, R the number of errors, and M the number of minutes typed. Solve for the number of errors. So basically, if you're typing, your speed, it depends on how many words you type, minus, of course, your errors, and then how many minutes did you spend doing it. So now instead, we just need to solve for errors, which is R. Thank you, Ashanti. So what's the first thing I need to do?
Multiply by M.
Okay, so if I multiply both sides by M, I have SM equals W minus 10R. What next? Subtract W from both sides. So I have SM minus W equals negative 10R. Now what? Divide by negative 10. I have SM minus W over negative 10 equals R. Now, if you wanted to if you wanted to, I'm going to say clean it up, because there are a lot of negatives going on right there, you can. You could go one step further if you're an overachiever and have negative SM plus W over 10 equals R. Just multiply everybody by negative 1. But if you didn't want to do all that, you didn't have to. Nobody asked. So that's the answer. Let's stop there. Okay, get out your packet from last week. Let's just refresh so we all know we're on the same page. Or at least I'm on my page. Are you on my page? Okay. So we're talking about something called a system of equations. We decided that just meant 2 or more equations. But in algebra class, we're only going to deal with the 2. The solution is what kind of an answer?
Ordered pair.
An ordered pair answer. If you graph them, the solution happens where they cross. Miss Asbury, we sat in her class last period, she not only makes them list where that is, she makes them circle it too. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Is there anyone who needs a review problem on the graphing? Okay, if my lines don't cross and they're parallel, do I have a solution? And how would I have infinitely many solutions? If when you graph both lines, you actually got the same line on top of each other. So like my blue and brown line are really the same lines. It would be infinitely many. Okay, so you either have one, none, or infinitely many. There are no questions on the graphing. Okay, substitution. Is actually, between the 3, substitution is my least favorite, but you have to be able to do them all. Okay, so when we have a test, because eventually there's going to be a test, a regular test, not LCF even, just normal. On the test, it'll say specifically, solve this problem by graphing, or solve this problem by elimination. Now, just because it says solve by substitution, does that mean you can't check it with graphing? Of course you can. But make sure I see what I'm going to grade as Hannah's work on whatever it says. Okay, so let's look at this one. Let's see, I'm actually going to work one of the flip-flop ones that you have today. If you want to write it, I'm going to do it on the back of our packet paper. If you want to write it, that'd be smart. One less problem you have to work, for sure. Okay, I am going to do number 5 on your flip-flop, your little flip-flop. But before I do number 5, one problem is number 1, and it says y equals negative 2x minus 6 and y equals x plus 9. If I'm doing substitution, what's my next step? Okay, so the reason I'm not going to do that one is because it's so easy. Anytime it's y equals, you just set the 2 equal to each other. I think just making sure we have that down. Okay, number 5 from the flip-flop says 9x plus 3y equals negative 7. And it also says y equals negative 3x plus 4. What do I do next? Not Maggie, she's got this. I would love to hear from, no offense, but these 3 people, I know they know what they're doing. Ashanti, Maggie, and Aaron. Anyone else?
Wait, you said
Not you. I know you know what you're doing. I need someone else. Yes, please.
Did you subtract that x?
I could. Which equation's already set up for me? No, yeah. Forget that one. I know you know how to solve the rest of it. Yeah, I know you know how to do the rest of that one. Forget that. This one. What do I need to do?
Plug in y equals negative 3x plus 4.
So what should my line say?
9x plus 3 times 3 plus 4, negative 3 plus 4.
Now what?
You should.
Well, I think there's one less thing.
Oh, equals
Equals what?
negative 7.
Okay, thank you. Okay, So this equation was already set up for us. Y was this. So everywhere she saw a y, she put negative 3x plus 4. Is there anyone who is confused on that step? Anyone who is confused on that step? Okay, she told me to distribute and solve, so I'm going to do that. I got 9x minus 9x plus 12 equals negative 7. Oh my goodness. I got 12 equals negative 7 because the 9x and the negative 9x, they canceled out. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does 12 equal negative 7? No, say it, Shanti, you're allowed now. No solution. And here, let me show you the key. Which one of these colors should I color? Red, light green, dark blue, brown? Red. It looks like the empty set, and it also means no solution. So, and I'm going to color number 5 red. Okay, so let's go back to your, are there any questions on substitution before I go crazy and go to the next thing? Okay, I like substitution and all. It's great. I do problems when it says substitution, when it lets me choose. Substitution is not what I choose unless it's set up that way. I'm going to say number 5 was set up for substitution. Why would I say 5 is set up for substitution?
Because it doesn't say that.
Yes, because of this bottom equation being y equals, they already had the one variable by itself. So if the equations were x equals 3y plus 4, and I would still do substitution because I already have a variable all by itself. I feel like they're telling you, like, use substitution when they have either x equals or y equals. Use substitution. Now, you could argue, because you like to argue, you could argue a different way on number 5. What would be another way to do number 5? Also easy. Graph it, because Aaron said it's in y equals mx plus b. If we just swap around that top equation and put it in y equals mx plus b, then everyone could graph it. Do you think the one I wrote in blue would be good with graphing? No. I feel like if they do x equals, they're telling you freaking use substitution. Okay. I'm going to let go of substitution. I think you have it down, or you should. We've done it enough. What we need to practice more of is my favorite, which is elimination. We talked about it last week, but there were many who were absent. Our goal is to eliminate, meaning we're going to kill someone off. We've got to either kill off the y's, or we've got to kill off the x's. Someone has to die. So we can either multiply the bottom equation by negative 3, so the y's will die, or what can we multiply the top equation by to make the x's die? By 2. If we multiply the top equation by 2, the x's die. So we've just got to figure out what to multiply by to make someone die. And then once they die, it gets really easy. So I'm actually going to work another one of yours. Number 8 on your flip-flop worksheet says 7x plus y equals negative 3. 2x minus 3y equals negative 14. You who did so well last 9 weeks, and I know how much you love identifying equations, what kind of equation is this? What form is it in?
A plus B. A.
What is that called? It is that. What's it called?
Plus B. Standard form.
Standard form. So basically, Ms. Compton's saying if they give you 2 equations in standard form, she thinks you should use elimination. Now, there's potential that they don't have them all lined up for you. So your first step would be to put all the x's in a line, all the y's in a line, all the numbers in a line. But thankfully, this one's already set up for us. Okay. If I wanted to get rid of x, what would I need to do?
I would have done y.
Oh, I'm going to do y. Why? If I wanted to do x, what would I need to do? Why is that going to be complicated?
It'd be a higher number. So
It would be a high number. What would I have to do?
multiply it by a negative.
0.
Well, if we multiply it by 0, x's and y's die, and then can't have 2 people dying. We only need 1.
Multiply it by the bottom
By
one by 7.
And the top one by
2.
A negative 2.
2 to do both instead of just one.
Yes, so Maggie's on it, which is if we wanted to get rid of x's in this problem, it would be a bigger headache because we'd have to multiply both the top and the bottom equations. We'd have to multiply the bottom by 7 and the top by negative 2 in order to make the x's cancel out. That's way too complicated. There has to be an easier way. Someone tell me something else to do.
Multiply by 3.
Which one?
Both.
Both? Just top?
Just
Do I multiply it by positive 3 or negative 3?
positive.
Okay, so if I multiply the top by positive 3, I get what?
21x take away 3y equals
It would be
In it added? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote it opposite of what he said. I was just waiting for the numbers. My bad or something. Okay. How will you know if you've done something wrong at this point? Because I'm not doing this for you from here on out. How will you know you've done something wrong at this point? Please tell me.
If you graph it.
If both cancel out, it could be no solution. But you're very right. But it could be no solution, so be careful.
None of them cancel.
If none of them cancel out, then Miss Compton clearly hadn't multiplied right because somebody was supposed to die. Does someone die right now? Who died?
The y.
Okay, so the y's die. I have 21x and 2x. What does that make?
24.
Okay, so I have 23x equals what? Oh, can you believe it? Of course they had it equal. So x equals what number? Okay, negative 1. So x is negative 1. Am I done? Okay, what do I do next?
You substitute.
Okay, does it matter which equation?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to pick the bottom one just for fun. I don't know why. I just felt like it. If you use the top, you would still get the same answer. I have negative 2 minus 3y equals negative 14. Add 2 to both sides. Add 2 to both sides. Negative 3y equals negative 12. Y equals something. Tell me the number. Is it negative 4? It's positive 4. Okay, but again, Maggie likes A's, and we all like A's. So I'm going to pick on Maggie so I can just call on someone specifically. Maggie likes A's. She wants to make sure that answer is 100% positive correct. She can either, A, plug it in like we were doing with the Bollinger, plug it in and make sure it does equal negative 3. Or B, she could graph both lines and make sure they actually cross at negative 1, 4. Either option, she's going to make sure she's right. She wants the A, she's going to do one of them. Are there any questions about this? She could substitute. If I was really evil, I would make you do elimination, substitution, and graphing all on the same problem. You would be so annoyed.